Dhan Guru Nanak. Today I am going to talk about how to listen to Kirtan. A lot of us have been listening to Kirtan for a long time, for many years. But what is the change that listening to Kirtan has brought in our lives? How much happier are we compared to other people? How much more peaceful we are than others who don't listen to Kirtan? How much more content we are, how much more loving we are than others who don't listen to Kirtan? How greater is our character than other people who don't listen to Kirtan? How much more joyful are we than others who don't listen to Kirtan? We have been listening to Kirtan for years and years now. What change has it brought into our lives? We need to ask ourselves. If the medicine is not working, either the medicine is not correct or we are not taking it in the right way. But first we have to understand and accept that it is not working, that we haven't changed, we are still suffering, we are still angry at others, we are still jealous, we are still full of tensions and anxiety and all sorts of problems that others are facing, that everyone else is also facing. So there is nothing great about us, even though we have been listening to Kirtan for a long time. There is no greater peace, no greater joy, no greater love, no greater contentment, no greater inspiration in our lives. Gurbani says, सुनकर बचन तुम्हारे सतगुर मन तन मेरा ठार थियो. Listening to your words, O true Guru, my mind and body are cooled and soothed. Which means that my mind and body are at peace and are at complete comfort. Listening to your words, listening to Gurbani, listening to Kirtan. सुनकर बचन तुम्हारे सतगुर मन तन मेरा ठार थियो. Have we become cooled? Have we become peaceful? Are we joyful? Then where is the problem? If we are not filled with joy, if we haven't increasingly become filled with joy, it's not that we'll become done with it, or I'm asking you of perfection. But what I'm asking here is whether there has been continuous improvement in the standard of our life through the years that we have spent listening to Kirtan. And if there has been almost negligible improvement in the quality of our life, or if there is deterioration in our life, then we need to see where the problem lies. Either this Gurbani line that says that listening to Kirtan, listening to Gurbani should bring peace and soothness to our lives, either it is wrong, or either we are doing something wrong, isn't it? But first we need to accept, by using our self-awareness and understanding, that we haven't really improved. If you think that you have really achieved a lot, or if you have really evolved a lot, then definitely you are going in the right direction, and then you don't need to change. when you need to change, when do you need to change? When you think that some things are not functioning, that you are not improving, that your quality of life hasn't improved much, even though you have been listening to Kirtan for hours and hours and for years and years. So what is the cause? The medicine is not working, but we know the medicine is correct, right? We are not doubting Gurbani here. So the problem must lie in the way we are taking the medicine, in the way we are listening to Kirtan. And through my observation of my own self and my observation of others also, it's not, so it applies to both me and others. Now I'm making this audio lecture not really understanding that that I am now listening to Kirtan in the right manner. I am making this audio with an understanding that I have seen some of the flaws in myself in the way I listen to Kirtan, and I have seen those same flaws in others also. And knowing those flaws has helped me in some ways to counter those flaws. So my awareness of those flaws has helped me to avoid those when I'm listening to Kirtan. So this knowledge of flaws has helped me better concentrate and get more out of Kirtan. I would not say get the most out of Kirtan, because I'm still on the way. I'm still at, let's say, 1% just. I don't claim to be at 10% or 5%. Again, so I'm just saying I'm just starting off. But the starting off has also come after years, I think. So I'm sharing with an intention that just as I have gained from this understanding of the flaws in the way I listen to Kirtan, others would also gain. And I'm sharing it as just another seeker on the path, not really as someone who has evolved more than others. So coming back, so what is the flaw in our way of listening to Kirtan? So the thing is that in my understanding, in my observation, we don't really listen to Kirtan at all, frankly. We just sit there, and what we do there while sitting there is a lot of our time is spent analyzing the Kirtaniya, how he is singing, what expressions he is giving, what tablawala is doing, and how the partner and the main Kirtaniya is syncing together. All of these things, and what he must be charging, and did he end before time or did he end after time, or how many shabads did he sing, and is he singing the popular shabads or is he singing new shabads? What kind of clothes is he wearing? Is his turban matching? And all sorts of things. We talk about these things and we discuss these things, and again, many more comments. I was just sitting in a gurdwara a few days back, and a lady was singing, and and the person in front of me just looked back and said, "This lady is really singing from the heart." It seems that just Gurbani is rightly just flowing out of her heart. So okay, this is a good observation. Probably he was enjoying. But the point is, again, why are we focusing so much on the Kirtaniya? Why not just listen to Kirtaniya And the point to understand here is that I was listening to Kirtan or whatever, I was trying to listen to Kirtan, and the person just looked back and started talking about Kirtaniya without really paying attention that I might be listening to Kirtan and I might get distracted. So much of our focus is on Kirtaniya. I think we spent, I don't know, 70s, 80% of our time, 60% of our time on just analyzing the various aspects of Kirtaniyas. And you must see it for yourself. What do you discuss once the Kirtan is over? What you discuss before the Kirtan starts? And what are you thinking when the Kirtaniya is singing? You are constantly thinking about the Kirtaniya, not really about the Kirtan. Once the Kirtan is over, we are discussing, okay, he made a mistake there or he was really good at that and he did a great job today and he was the best, he is better than that Kirtaniya, is better than that. Whatever, all of this is useless stuff. And we are engaged in this useless stuff, junk, that has no value whatsoever. And then we say that we listen to Kirtan. This is not at all listening to Kirtan, isn't it? This all analysis people do on political matters and sports and other stuff. This analysis you are carrying out on Kirtaniyas. There is no difference. We are not gaining anything out of Kirtan because we are not even listening to Kirtan, because we are spending so much of our energy and time on analyzing the various facets of Kirtaniyas. So the first and one of the biggest flaws in our listening of Kirtan is that we focus so much on Kirtaniyas that there is hardly any time or energy left to listen to Kirtan. We are spending so much of our energy on discussing and thinking about various facets of Kirtaniyas. And then it's not just Kirtaniyas. We are focused so much also on the Kirtan. Okay, the tabla wala played this tal or whatever, and the music of this Shabad was so awesome. And most of the time we are just enjoying the music. So the way I think to assess yourself whether you listen to the Shabad or you just enjoy the music is by trying to remember the different panktis or the different Shabads that were sung after the Kirtan is over. Are you able to recollect the various Shabads that were sung or the various panktis in those Shabads? And if not, were you really listening to Kirtan or were you just enjoying the music? And trust me, this is what I have observed in myself and others too. I have seen others talk about this and I have seen it in myself also. A lot of time we just are focused on the music. We are singing along and we seem to be enjoying, but what we are enjoying is the music part. And we are not at all focused on what we are singing or what we are listening to actual Gurbani. Because just after 10 minutes we will not be able to recollect what Shabad was sung and what it meant. What is the reason? If we were really enjoying Kirtan, then why are we not able to recollect just after 15 minutes? The reason is that we were not focused on the Kirtan, we were focused on the music. And then again, so you could, a lot of time I think you're focused on the Kirtaniya, a lot of time you're focused on music. And then even if you're not focused on these two things, there is so much going on in the mind. You could be focused on the next meeting that you're going to have the next day, or the person sitting right next to you in the Sangat, or the Seva that you're going to do next, or anything about your clothes, or about anything. If your attention is not on Gurbani, then you're not really listening to Kirtan, isn't it? If you are thinking other things, ultimately it's about your attention, right? If you're not paying attention, then it means that you're not listening. It's simple, isn't it? Just being physically present there won't serve, and it hasn't served, as we can see from our lives, isn't it? So one of the main consequences of our not really listening to Kirtan is evident in our lives, that our lives haven't improved. We are still filled with anger, rage, jealousy, those evils and vices. Same vices that others are struggling with, we are also struggling with those vices. There is no joy in our lives. We are still full of anxiety and sadness, tensions. We are running after money. We are running after so many things. We haven't gained from Gurbani or Kirtan. So this mechanical repeating, this mechanical singing, this just physical presence hasn't helped us. We need to listen to Kirtan to gain from it. So there is a Sakhi, so a Sikh came to Guru Gobind Singh Ji and he said that, Guru Sahib, sometimes, very few times actually, I enjoying listening to Gurbani, but most of the times I don't. It doesn't impact me. I don't enjoy it at all. So Guru Sahib asked him, do you drink alcohol? And and he admitted that he did. So Guru Sahib asked him to bring alcohol. So he went back and came back after some time with a bottle of alcohol, and Guru Sahib asked him to just sip alcohol one sip at a time, just gargle it and throw it. So the instruction was not to take it in, just gargle it and then throw it. So he did it with the entire bottle, and then Guru Sahib asked, are you intoxicated? So the Sikh said, no, why would I be intoxicated when I didn't take anything inside me? And then the Guru Sahib remarked, if you are not taking Gurbani inside, how would you get intoxicated? How would you feel joy? How would your life change if you are not taking it inside, if you're just gargling it and throwing it away? And that is the point. We are not listening to Kirtan, we are not taking Gurbani inside. So what does taking Gurbani inside means, or how should we listen to Kirtan? I think the first aspect of listening to Kirtan is trying to understand, try to pay attention to what Gurbani means. So this is what a lot of us do when we listen to Katha. But I think it's very important that we try to understand Gurbani when we are listening to Kirtan. Because that is a sort of a direct connection between us and Gurbani. When we are listening to Katha, we are listening to someone else's interpretation of Gurbani. But when we are listening to Gurbani in Kirtan, then we have a direct connection with Gurbani. We should try to understand what Gurbani says. And then the next step is to believe it. First, we should understand what Gurbani means. If we don't even understand the meaning of the words of Gurbani, then there is no way we could believe it. What are we believing in if we don't even understand it? So, the first thing is to understand the meaning of Gurbani. The second thing is to believe it. And the second step is not an easy step, frankly. It's remarkably challenging. If you really try to understand and believe in Gurbani, you will feel that it's really difficult. काहे रे मन चित वै उत्तम जहाँ आहर हर जियो परया. So this is a Gurbani line from Ras Sahib which we are supposed to read every day. It says that Kahe re man chit vay uddam jahan ahar har jiyo parya. Why are you worried? Why are you worried? Kahe re man chit vay uddam jahan ahar har jiyo parya, when the Lord Himself is providing you the meals, when the Lord Himself is taking care of you all. But we are constantly worried about things, and that is the truth of our lives. Now the point comes, if we believe in Gurbani, then we shouldn't be worried. There is a Gurbani line that says, Pakhan keet gupat hoye rehta tacho marag nahe. In rocks, there are insects, and there is no way to reach them. Pakhan keet gupat hoye rehta, they are hidden, and there is no way to access them. Tacho marag nahe. कह धन्ना पूर्णता हूँ को काहे जी डराही. Dhanna ji says that the Lord reaches there also and provides those insects their meals. Why are you worried, man? So we understand these lines. No, the first step, a lot of us understand the first step, but the second step is very difficult, to believe in it. We don't believe in it, because believing in it would entail changing our lives, changing our whole approach to lives, and the fear strikes us hard. How can we trust in the unknown? How can we trust in the invisible? How can we trust in God? How can we trust that we'll be taken care of? We continuously run hard after whatever money that we see. We run after wherever we see our benefit. We're constantly worried about our future. We're constantly worried about various things. And if we really believed in these lines of Gurbani, in Gurbani in general, we would need to change our entire way of looking at life. Our whole way of living life would need to be changed. We would need to stop running. The first step has to be taken by us. Our general mentality is that once everything starts coming to us, I will stop running. You show me that God indeed provides me, God will indeed take care of me, then I'll stop running. Just give me the money, I'll stop running. That is our approach, even though we don't say it, but that is what it is. But the point in life is that you have to take the first step. You are given the free will. The God is there waiting for you to take the first step. The first step of faith has to be taken by the man, because God will not impose His will on man, because the man has been given free will. So he can choose to believe or not believe in God. Nothing will be imposed on him. And whatever you believe in will create your reality. And that is the magnificence of man, that he can create his reality. So if you believe that you will not be taken care of, that will be your experience. But when you change your beliefs, when you start believing that God indeed will take care of me, then you will start experiencing a different reality. But the first step has to be taken by you. And the reason that you will take the first step will be that you believe in Gurbani, that you believe that what Gurbani is saying is true. We are by default assuming that what Gurbani is saying is not true. And that's how we are living our lives. No matter how hard we shout that we believe in Gurbani, but our lives shout louder than us, shouting very clearly that we don't believe in Gurbani. There is no way we can believe in Gurbani and be anxious all day and be worried about our future. Whom are we fooling? So coming back, the first step I think to listening Kirtan is understand the meaning. The second step is trying to believe in it. Step by step, little step by step. But we have to change our lives. We have to walk the path. We have to understand that only by walking the path will we reach our destination. Will we have more joy in our lives? If we don't change our lives, there will be no joy in our lives, and we will stay just the way we are. We have to understand this. How many more years do we need to understand this? And then the third thing is to feel the emotions. I think that is really, really important. But if you don't even believe in Gurbani, there is no way you will feel the emotions in Gurbani. By emotions, I mean just simply, if you read Gurbani, it's filled with love, it's filled with compassion, it's filled with humility. So you have to feel that. When you say that, Mera pyara pritam Satguru Rakhwala, no, so here just understanding the meaning won't help much. It will help to some extent, but look at the words. Mera, first of all, Mera. You are referring to God as Mera. Try to see how Gurbani is making sentences or how Gurbani is putting forth ideas. Mera. How are we addressing the Lord? Mera. Do we call him like that in our lives? Mera. I mean, really, do we? Then it says Mera Pyara. You're referring to God as Pyara. Rarely do we call anyone Pyara. I think, at least I don't call anyone Pyara, Pyare, Pyari. It's one of the most beloved designations or beloved ways of addressing anyone. Pritam, again, so much love, so love-filled words. If we try to feel the emotions behind them, then we'll see it will evoke some emotions in us. It will fill us with love. Only if we try to touch these words, try to really feel these words. If we just understand them intellectually or just keep singing them, yeah, this Kirtani is singing this Shabad so beautifully, and just lost there, we will be lost. Mera pyara pritam Satguru Rakhwala. All of these words, try to pay attention to every word. Rakhwala, is he taking care of me? Is he? Then do I need to be worried at all? So I think the third step is feeling the emotions. मैं बिन गुरु देखे नींद ना आए. So it means that in English, if I translate it, I do not get any sleep without looking at Guru. मैं बिन गुरु देखे नींद ना आए. मैं बिन गुरु देखे नींद ना आए. Look at the emotions. I do not get any sleep without looking at the Guru. So there is so much love. Again, English translation doesn't do justice to the kind of love that can be felt in the original Gurmukhi version. मैं बिन गुरु देखे नींद ना आवे. मेरे मन तन वेदन गुर बिरहों लगावे. Mere man tan vedan. My mind and body are afflicted with the pain of separation from the Guru. Look at the feelings, trying to feel the feelings. Only when we feel Gurbani, we understand Gurbani, we believe in Gurbani, are we really listening to Gurbani? Only then are we listening to Gurbani, isn't it? If we are not doing these things, then what we are doing is what we are doing. So there are, again, this is just a very broader way of putting these things, and how should we listen to Gurbani. There are multiple things. We should switch off our phones, and we should try to close our eyes. So these are the things that you should figure out. What are the things that are causing you distractions? What are the things that are coming in your way of understanding Gurbani? So one way to test yourself continuously is, what have you listened to today? And you should monitor yourself. What are you talking about after the Kirtan is over? Are you talking about the Kirtaniyas or the music or the various details around the thing? Or are you really focused on the Kirtan and the message that was delivered today? And the feelings that that the Kirtan evoked in you? What are you focused on? So you need to monitor yourself. If you really want to get the most out of Kirtan, if you really want to change your life, Gurbani says, Sarb Manorath Raj Sukh Ras Sad Khushiyan Kirtan Japna. All desires, power, pleasures, joy and lasting bliss are found by chanting the name of the Lord and singing the Kirtan of His praises. All desires, power, pleasures, joy and lasting bliss are found by chanting the name of the Lord and singing the Kirtan of His praises. Sarv Manorath Raj Sukh Ras Sad Khushiyan Kirtan Japna. May we start listening to Kirtan so that we can also partake in this joy and lasting bliss. Dhan Guru Nanak.